And we're back again.
That
Day
was
two.
fast.
Yes,
Day
it
two.
was.
Wasn't that fast? It's like the show Manifest,
Day one was a lot of fun.
right?
Yeah, it was busy yesterday.
Yeah,
It
day
was
one was
very,
very,
very
very
busy yesterday. Absolutely.
You know, but we're joined by Mr. Erik Asher, also known as Asher.
Asher's Finest Rosin.
Yep.
Kind of made a name for myself in the early times of the medical program. I was the first person in Pennsylvania ever allowed to demonstrate rosin extraction in a public venue. And since then, I've been taking it all over the state and teaching it to people and helped to popularize solventless concentrates in Pennsylvania.
Very nice, very nice. I mean, you also work with veterans, don't you?
I do. I've partnered with a lot of doctors who do certifications for veterans so that they can get either reduced fee or free certifications for their medical cards.
Oh, nice, nice.
Been doing that a long time.
Right, right. So, you know, Erik usually has a booth set up here. This time he's actually just here as a guest speaker. So today at 4:30.
Mhm.
Today at 4:30, he's going to be doing a small, intimate meet and greet here, where he's going to answer questions, go over
A little round table, talking about the history of cannabis in Pennsylvania, as far as since we got medical, where we're heading towards legalization, the problems that we're hitting along the way, and I open it up for questions and answers as far as I can give them.
What's the biggest obstacle that you've run against?
Well, we've got a couple of problems, and people don't seem to understand that the fix is simple. It's not easy. Pennsylvania,
they make it complicated.
They do. They keep the cost of entry super high, so you have to be a corporation in order to even play here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got one of the most restrictive cannabis, and not even adult use is legal. It's strictly medical still. One of the things that's keeping us from getting full legalization, in my opinion, is the fact that Pennsylvania prohibits voter-initiated binding referendums, which is how most of the other states got legalization. They got enough voters to sign a petition, got it on a ballot,
Right.
and forced their state house to yield to the will of the voters. In Pennsylvania, there's a strict prohibition against that, so there's no accountability from our state representatives. They pander to people every election cycle saying, oh, we're going to get legalization to happen. But then they come up with bills like the one that just got defeated at the state house because they wanted to sell cannabis through a state store model like they do alcohol here. Unacceptable. They wanted to limit home grow to 2 plants, and you have to buy a permit to grow those 2 plants. Again, absolutely unacceptable.
Right.
So those bills,
It's all about control.
it is. It's about control, and Pennsylvania is a terrible state when it comes to that. We still have state stores selling liquor, in 2025 makes no sense.
Right.
So those same types of problems are happening in the cannabis realm, on top of the fact it's still not federally legal. So they have that as an excuse not to act,
Right.
And I personally believe that a lot of the key state legislators have been paid off by these big multi-state operators who own 95% of our supply chain. That dark money affects decisions at every committee that a bill comes up through. So the fix is sort of in, and that's kind of the problem. The way to fix the problem is to get that unconstitutional prohibition on voter-initiated binding referendums struck down. Then we can craft a bill, get enough votes to get it passed, and force the state house to act on our behalf instead of in their own best interest. Those are the kind of things I talk about. There's a lot more in depth to it.
Right.
It should be up to the voter, the general public.
It should. I mean, we are surrounded by states that have taken that next step, and we are suffering. We're suffering fiscally from it. We've lost over $1 billion since New Jersey legalized. They were the first ones to touch us that did. And now it's just us in West Virginia that haven't gotten the memo yet. So hopefully they won't let it continue to hurt the state as far as tourism. Because think about this. If you're a cannabis-loving person, are you going to travel to a state where you have to be a medical patient and they don't take out of state cards, so you're stuck without a legal way unless you go to buy that crappy stuff they sell at gas stations, right? Which
Yeah.
you don't even know if that's real stuff or not. It's full of chemicals. But to get legal access, you have to go to a neighboring state.
Right.
It just boggles the mind that they're throwing away millions and millions of dollars a year by not doing this,
Trying to
and they
pocket
still lock
millions and
people up
millions.
for it,
Right. Right.
outside of Allegheny County and where Philadelphia is, the whole rest of the state still arrests people for possession. We're kind of safe here in Allegheny County because they've decriminalized possession of cannabis to a non-arrestable offense.
Right.
So, there's a comfort level here that doesn't exist outside of Allegheny County.
Right.
But I try to lobby on behalf of patients and veterans. I think that we ought to be able to grow this plant at home and not have to pay for the privilege of doing so. I think that selling cannabis ought to be a small business venture and not relegated to these big corporations only. Michigan really did the best job. When they set up their system, they put 48% of the market in the hands of the big corporations.
Yeah.
They got their cut, but they left 51% of the market open for everybody else. So there's a plethora of small mom and pops, growers, processors, and dispensary owners that have been able to actually make a go at this. And in Pennsylvania, no such opportunities exist. If you're trying to work with real stuff and not this THCA hemp flower crap that people want to sell now, it's murking up the whole thing with the hemp flower.
Gotcha.
All these smoke shops are popping up all over the place, and people who aren't really educated about cannabis end up going to these places and buying tainted products that are just terrible and paying inflated prices anyway. The way to fix this is to get adult use legalized, and people will be able to differentiate between what's real and what isn't.
So how can people find you? How can they reach out to you?
I'm on Instagram, Asher's Finest Rosin 412, little underscores between each of those words. I'm on Facebook. I come to events like this. I'll be at most of the major events in Western Pennsylvania. I've been attending them forever. I used to be coming to press rosin, but now I'm just pursuing more of the speaker and educator sort of thing.
Yeah.
Getting a little too long in the tooth to be dragging around a 20-ton rosin press everywhere I go. So,
Right.
But I still love coming out to these events and meeting all the really cool people. There's some amazing vendors here. There's some amazing educators here and luminaries. This is a really fun event because unlike the other major event in Pittsburgh, which happens in August, and it's outdoors, this event is much more accessible to most people.
Yeah.
The weather isn't a factor, free parking, all that stuff,
Yeah. Plus, you get the next door reptiles.
Absolutely. That's the coolest part. We have people coming through here walking monitor lizards on leashes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So you get kind of a really unique experience. It's not just cannabis, it's exotics too, which is kind of cool.
Nice. So make sure you guys come on down to the Steel City Cannabis
Open
Convention.
till 6 today.
Open till 6 today.
Yeah.
Eric will be speaking around 4:30.
You bet.
If you want to learn more, you can always reach out to him on his pages, like he said. But we prefer if you come down to the event and see the man in person. We
love to discuss this subject.
Did you lose your train of thought?
Well, somebody made a comment
Oh.
and I missed it, so I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss it.
Oh.
Don't fuck with me, Holman. So
Too early?
we're out of here. We'll be back live, I don't know, at various points during the day with various people.
That's right. You never know.
Right? Come
You
on
bet.
down.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me